Hashtag Real Race Talk. It's the Revved Up Sports Show talking local, regional, and national action. Here's Bobby Chaffee and Rodney Rodriguez.
Hi, friends. Welcome in to another Monday. It is hashtag Real Race Talk, the Revved Up Sports Show. Diving in after a busy weekend. Showtime Bobby Chaffee right there. As you look at your screen, I believe he is on the left side. I'm Rodney Rodriguez over on the right side. Welcome into another program. Go talk to Kevin Rogers, old KR, coming up here in about 15 minutes, 13 minutes or so. Talk to him, and then Cody Brusso is going to join us. That is our surprise, as she will check in after her win at the World Series in New Smyrna, as they are off and going once again. Bobby, how we doing, brother?
You know, for a Monday, not too terribly bad. Didn't get to go to the office. Well, I got halfway to the office. There's no network capabilities there in the building, so they said, why don't you guys just go ahead and go back home? And so I did that, managed to have a good, productive day at work, and yeah, now we're doing the show, so everything's kind of working out just like it should. Kind of I wouldn't say a relaxing Monday, but definitely not necessarily stress-free or anything, but not too bad.
Never a bad thing, and I think it's going to get really nice here. I'd say within a year or two, when they add another football game, there's going to be another football game that's going to be added in another week, whether it be another week or I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but what it's going to allow to happen is it's going to work out perfectly to where, because next Monday I think it's President's Day, to where Super Bowl Monday, you know, the Monday after the Super Bowl would actually fall on President's Day. So that's going to work out really nice. It's going to be nice when they get that all figured out for folks that maybe overindulge on some stuff, and you know, we'll have that Monday off, you know, for folks that get to get those kind of holidays off like that.
Well, except for us racing folk, because that's the Monday now after the Daytona 500. So if we get tore up from the floor up from the Daytona 500 celebration, we get Monday off. So I don't know if it's all that bad. So
I don't think Daytona 500 really even compares to the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. No offense to our massive NASCAR fans that we have in our audience. I mean, no offense to them, but I don't think it really compares when it comes to. I mean, I know some people get pretty fired up for Daytona 500 parties and all that, but not like they used to. Not back in the day. Not back in the day.
Nothing's like it was back in the day, is it?
No, nothing at all. Colin checking in. What's happening, boys? About 2 weeks out from race season as a spectator, about 4 weeks out. Yeah, it's getting to be about that time again, man. It, kind of starting to brush up on stuff. The good thing is, though, you know, the last couple of weeks, I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, between the dirt stuff and now with New Smyrna, I mean, there's shit on every day, and it's like it hasn't even stopped. I mean, that's kind of the cool part about it, honestly.
Well, once it got fired up, I mean, it ended up being okay, right? You just had to wait just a little bit of time. Obviously, there wasn't a lot of downtime, but you got to figure people coming in from down south able to come in and going because there's no ice and snow, not normally, down there in Florida. So Florida pretty much stays open year round. Like when we talked to Jennifer Brinson, Florida never shut down for the pandemic. They just kept on rolling and still rolling. You got the Freedom Factory down there running pretty much all year. All they got to do is watch out for a little bit of rain down there, but yeah, I mean, now that every there with Flow Racing doing the excellent coverage, once they get their audio issues worked out and some of their video issues worked out at the beginning of the week, it was just like being there live almost.
Yeah, I was. I know for a lot of folks, you know, Flow kind of hangs the moon right there, but it's there. It was. I mean, watching it the other night, it's like, you know, Flow has a little bit of a glitch there, and I mean, they haven't had many. I mean, everybody has them. I mean, I don't know why it's such a big deal all the time, but everybody has them. And then when they had that little glitch right there, all of the folks that absolutely love flow racing, boom, it's like boom. I mean, just that fast, man. Like pro wrestling turning on Flow. They ain't worth a fuck. They suck. What a ripoff. I'm like, God damn. Last night, it was the best thing that you've ever seen before. I'm like, come on, calm down a little bit. Jeez Louise, what the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the reaction on some of the different social media people we follow. Their varied reactions from it's ever to the worst shit ever. I want my money back, yada yada yada. Come on, I mean, it's one of those. It's like just, it's like what the hell? Just live with it. Shit happens. Our program drops. Even regular high definition satellite TVs drop when they do big time. It's not just immune to Flow TV and Revved UP Sports Show.
Well, and it's like, when you have these events, and this is where we talk about all the time on here, is with the NASCAR stuff, for example, where they're going to run and going to down home grassroots stuff and all this, that, and the other. There's one reason right there. When you go to a short track like that, when you go to something like that that's not wired up, that's intended to do that type of production, I mean, that shit's going to happen. I mean, I know that. I mean, I know that bandwidth and all of that has been improved, and hotspots are unbelievable, and all this other shit. But every now and then something like that happens, and I think that's where people forget that this stuff is online. You know what I mean? It's like when you used to have to count on. I joke all the time. When like folks check in. Like if somebody's watching this show from Japan, and I'm like, boy, that's a long ass line. That's a long ass phone line. God dang it, man! One little blip in a connection, your shit is dead.
Yeah, you're done. Yeah, you're done.
And that's where it's like, calm down. But that really was interesting to see the other night, where it's like, boom, everybody turned on him. I'm like, damn, what happened there, man?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And they turned on him in a heartbeat too. I mean, we were texting back and forth, kind of chuckling about it with some of the issues they were having, but I mean, it's what are you gonna do, man? I mean, there's nothing that you can do when the shit happens like that. So
yeah, check this out right here. I mean, here's our man, and this is a dude that probably takes the brunt of it. our man Chris David, Race on Texas. Yeah, remember when the lights went dim at the Super Bowl in New Orleans that time, just shut off. Yeah, this stuff happens, man, and it's like there's like absolutely no forgiveness. It's like immediately. I mean, there's never the thing the other night. I mean, when all that happened, I was never. I never saw. I hope everything's okay at the track. I hope nothing catastrophic has happened. It's like, give me my money back. Give me my $19 back or whatever it costs. I don't know what it costs, but it's like, geez, Louise, come on, man.
People turn in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they sure do. Hey, look who's checking in right there. That dude had a birthday, didn't he?
Yeah. I went. I was trying to hope. I was hoping your cousin Frank be working that day, but he wasn't working when I went.
Yeah.
Your cousin Frank usually is a good hookup man for me. So
nice, very nice. Well, I did want to share before our man KR jumps on. KR's got a lot to talk about. So obviously, yesterday with the football game, everybody has the best jokes for me when it comes to my team ain't worth the shit. The Cowboys, which I know. I mean, it's like I've lived through it. It's like people want to remind me all the time. Your team is no good. They haven't been to the Super Bowl since whenever. And I'm like, yes, I fucking remember. I saw it. I've lived through all this. So this is the video that I get every year. I got this just a few weeks ago. So here's the favorite that Double R gets.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's for two reasons. Number one, because it's a Cowboys fan. Number two, because he's Mexican. So I'm assuming that's the reason that I get that at Full Throttle. But dude, did you see this yesterday? This is a 49er fan. This guy apparently lost $20,000 in bets. So check.
Well, you weren't happy with your 150.
You didn't have to go down that road. I'm trying to not think about that. But so here, So check this shit out, and just a little PG warning. I mean, Bobby and I may say a bad thing or two, but this is real life. This was yesterday. This is a 49er fan after that contest last night. And the wife's like cleaning the screen. That's the best part.
That is not going to help at all. That definitely left a mark right there.
It's all broken, and the lady goes over there and she's like wiping the thing down. I'm like, I don't really,
I don't think that's his TV.
No, I think he was a guest.
Yeah, I don't think that was his TV.
Yeah, I think he was a guest there, and he was over doing that stuff. But yeah, apparently that he lost $20,000. That's outrageous, man. When you start doing, but God bless America, that's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy.
That's way too much faith in a sports team, like Mattress Mac putting all that money down on UT. I mean, he's got money to burn, but damn, that's a lot of money to 20 grand.
That's a car. I mean, if you think about that. That's a car. That's a year's worth of over a year's worth of mortgages. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? That is absolutely crazy to do that kind of stuff. But I mean, you've got to have a lot of faith in your team if you're doing that kind of stuff, or you really got to dive into analytics, I guess, if you're trying to do that, because that's massive money right there that's on the line. Jeez, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Did you hear the rumor today on the Pat McAfee show that the 49ers did not know the overtime rules?
Yeah, I saw that. So that,
yeah.
And that explained, I mean, last night, I mean, when the 49ers, I mean, you don't take the ball. I mean, you want to put them on the offense. And that's one of those things where, Bobby, it's one thing if you've got, I don't know, Dak Prescott on the other side. But when you take the ball and you go kick a field goal and Pat Mahomes is the other quarterback, dude, you're fucked. I mean, I'm sorry. You're screwed. There's no way around it.
Yeah, no, he's too good an athlete to make something not happen out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Super Bowl was good. It was entertaining. Some of those commercials were good. I have mixed emotions about the halftime show. Did you hear Usher in there in Vegas? And then he was all hugging up on Alicia Keys. That would make sense about that actual meme that we saw that said, I wouldn't let my new man rub up against somebody else like that.
Oh, damn. Hell, I didn't know he wasn't married. I thought he was married. I mean, I don't follow that stuff all that close, but no. I mean, hell, I guess if you're in Vegas, that's what you do, I guess. So
I guess that's the right way to go, right?
Yeah, he had quite the a lot of people out there, I guess, from what I can remember. So yeah, that's good for him. Halftime show, no, I don't. I didn't think much of it. I mean, I didn't watch much of it, but I didn't think a whole lot of it, to be honest with you. It's just not my style. Not my style, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not going to have George Strait or somebody singing sing. I mean, I guess they come close. They've had two country singers here in the last couple of years sing the national anthem. I bet that's about as close as you'll get to a country anthem for a halftime show.
Yeah, old Rebar doing it yesterday. So did you see who else was there at the festivities yesterday? We'll take a look right here. Coming up there. So there you had a little bit of NASCAR intrigue right there. You had a big old Clint Bauer right there in the middle of everything. Jeff Gordon over on the right side. I'm not sure who that youngster is. That's not his wife, is it?
That's one of his daughters by now, probably.
Oh, really? Dang.
I would think.
Yeah. Jeez,
his kids got to be that old by now.
Yeah. That's old Jeff Gordon there on the right side. And then way over on the other side, there you have big bad Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, who had their own little performance yesterday. So Clint Boyer with the win right there. And that's Clint Boyer and Milton Hope are the two guys that I'm the happiest for, because those are Kansas City fans. Those are real Kansas City fans.
Yeah, diehard Kansas City fans.
Absolutely. I did see where my lady, Miss Mahomes, went and got a hold of what's his name with the tattoos all over his face, and took off his Dallas Cowboys jacket and put him a Kansas City one on.
Oh, Jelly Roll?
No, the other guy. He sang the American the Beautiful.
Post Malone.
Malone, yeah. Post Melon. Yeah, Post Melon. Yeah.
Your newest
yeah,
country
so,
artist. And the more face tattoos you have, the easier it is to cross over to country music now.
Yeah, my new favorite. Yeah. So I'm going to call Brittany Mahomes and say, why don't you come get my cowboy jacket and hook me up with one of those? I'll put a Kansas City jacket on if it happens that way. I'm not just going to do it for shits and grins, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, her Gracie.
Ooh, man, I'd put a lot more on than a jacket for that. All right, let's dive in. It's time to get after this stuff. I mean, we're talking about, in January, and Red Solo got the Toby Keith. Hey, by the way, rest in peace, Toby Keith. We hadn't mentioned that yet. That was a shocker right there when I woke up to that the other day. But jumping on here with us, got a lot to talk about, man. He has a whole lot to talk about. It is a great one, as Bobby says, the man, the myth, the legend. It is KR, Kevin Rogers. How you doing, brother?
Man, if Bobby's saying that about me, drug testing him, so he ain't on comment about football music. 49ers should have had the football. That we knew that was a blunder. And I'm only a fan of country music when it revolves Merle Haggard. This new country music's done lost me, but nobody cares about my opinion. But at my races, we're going to play George Jones, Merle Haggard, and George Strait. I figured we'll just go ahead and do all that. And I can't figure out the Taylor Swift deal. I know a lot of people love her, but I ain't figured out what's so special about her. And she doesn't care what I think either. That's the beauty part of it. So it's good. But man, how in the hell you guys been doing?
Shit, can't be complaining, man. It's prep time. It's go time, right? And I would imagine for you, I know that. Do you ever have any time off, dude? You've always got shit going on.
Yeah, I take a couple of days at Thanksgiving, a couple of days at Christmas, and I figured 4 or 5 days a year is plenty. So it's crazy. As I was making some notes preparing for this, I was looking. We've already got most of our 2025 schedule out. It's ready. Like we've got dates and venues, and we'll roll them out when we get there. But I tell you, this industry is so competitive. You can't just go in and 10 years ago we could throw something together in a month and fit it. You can't do that anymore because everybody's really proactive now, and there's just so much content out there. Like Florida's crazy right now. You were talking about that earlier. You can watch something on TV every night. I'm not really a big asphalt guy, but Rodney, in honor of you, I've been watching some of the asphalt stuff on the boat. I tell you what, I'm starting to become a believer. You know what I mean? It's been pretty good racing. So, the doom and gloom of motorsports, that's all you hear. Motorsports is bad. It's tough, but I don't think it's bad. Racers, whether they want to believe it or not, they're racing for more money now than they ever have. And I know they don't always see that weekly, and there's a fine line there, but there's a lot of opportunities to go run some races this year that's going to pay some money. So I'm excited. We've been working hard on a lot of stuff. We got a lot of good people kind of in our corner, and that's really made a big difference. And I'm going to give my first plug to that to Chris and Harry at Race on Texas. Those guys, they started in 2015, and KR Promotions started in 2015. They streamed some of my first stuff. So we've been with them for 10 years now, and those guys and their whole entire crew, phenomenal. We talked 99 Nationals a little bit, but you saw how we unveiled that race. It was all video marketing. We haven't put a flyer out yet. They produced all that stuff for us, and I think that gave us a little bit of an edge. It was different. We kind of teased them for about 6 weeks, and then they kind of had to stay tuned and stay involved with us. So they've done a lot for motorsports, and I give my plugs this all the time. I did a workshop over the weekend. Some people are like, streaming's bad. I said, streaming's why you're seeing what you're seeing right now. Without the stream services, you don't have 50, 100,000 no-win races. Let's just be honest.
That's right.
No, not at all. But I mean, you've always said that the people are what makes the pie, right? You've got to have good people around you, and it's on everything from race shows to fuel cans to everything else. But it starts at the top. When you have good people doing good things, it seems to kind of work out, and that's the track record of which you've shown over the last couple of years for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, I've had a lot of good help, a lot of good support. We like to talk about what we did good at, but I promise you, every time we hit a good one, we had 15 bad ones that I try not to tell everybody about because it's just a trial and error deal. But man, I got so many good people, so many kind of industry mentors, if you will. Toby Cruz, Pat Fagan, Fast Shafts. I've got his hoodie on tonight. Like that guy's been good to me 20 years, and he never really had to be, and I've always respected that. But I bounce stuff off just different people, and because I like to get different opinions from different people in industry. Because if I ask you something, Bobby, and then I ask Rodney the next day, y'all may get to the same end result, but you may give me two different ways to look at it, which kind of gets the old going a little bit. I sometimes feel like a comedian a little bit in aspect see the world different than others, and I kind of do too. When I see stuff, I see opportunity more than I see anything. So, but no, it's an exciting time for me personally. It's the first year in probably 5 years I haven't been affiliated with the Racetrack Weekly, and so we're doing kind of what we wanted to do from day one, and we're going to bounce around the region and throughout the United States in 2024 and 25, just putting on some specials and I'm going to focus more of my efforts. I love late model racing. I love big time sprint car racing, but I'm gonna focus my efforts on the grassroots stuff. I'm gonna go chase the weekly warriors, give them something to be proud of. I purchased a football run through tunnel and smoke machines. I'm working on getting the rights to the Chicago Bulls from the '90s, their intro music. I want to have some badass driver intros. I want to make the guy that's running a hobby stock weekly, I want him to feel like Dale Earnhardt one night, and I think we've kind of lost that way a little bit in racing. And I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, so steer me.
Go ahead.
But I think we've kind of lost our way a little bit. I know it's so special right now. I tell people, you have the Super Bowl, good Pop Warner. You got to have progression. You got developmental. I think there's a good blend in it. Just going after it. Part of what we're looking at the division, a lot of market space for. To go put great hunt, and I think do some cool stuff. But I'm excited, man. Got every week. I like learning from all. Yes, you got. It's just fun. There's so many cool platforms sports that we didn't have for 10 years. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting a little choppy audio there on you, Kevin. I don't know if it's on your end or our end. I'll kind of work on that. But kind of what you're talking about right here. And we'll get to your schedule here in a minute. But I like what you're doing right there when you talk about, because obviously, I mean, it's great to promote a racetrack. It's great to hone in on one place. But like what you're doing right there, the fact that you're branching out and really you're going to showcase a lot of different drivers and venues and so forth. And I think that's super important because it kind of spreading the knowledge, spreading the wealth, so to speak, but branching out, I think is a really big deal.
Well, I've always said this, and I hope the audio is better on my end. I'm in my office and it ain't always good. So I always said racing works when you got 4 drivers without one ties years. But I just believe that's the way it is. But I'm going to take some on the road with, take Texas on the road with. As we crack the road, take people with us, and it's built a pretty, and I'm pretty excited about where we're going.
Absolutely.
We're getting better.
Yeah, it's still kind of hit or miss a little bit. I'm not exactly sure where it is. I'm hearing a little bit of popping right there, so I'm not sure what it is. But it's good enough. We can hear. We can understand what you're saying.
Well, I have it here.
All right, give it a whirl, Bobby. Go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, I mean I got most of it because you're talking about your 4 keys to have the best of both worlds. But let's talk about your schedule. I mean, it's one thing when we get schedules, like we were happy when we got 2024 schedules 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? Here you are working on a 2025 schedule. I keep seeing the post where you do the little tip. Anybody know of an arena that can hold X number of people and where's some of those at? And, you always kind of pull back the curtain just a little bit like the Wizard of Oz. But it's like, we know you got a grand plan going there, and you've always thought outside the box, which is what, we've always admired about your way of thinking and the promotions that you've done, the schedule you got, man.
Well, we'll talk about what we got on the books now. We just finished our Winning Technologies workshops, some chassis seminars that Scotty Allen and I do together. those been very well. It's fun working with those guys. And this coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's our inaugural Clash at the County, presented by Rush Race Gear at the Grayson County Speedway. That's going to feature all your now 600 National Micro Series kickoff for their season. We got the IMCA Stars Mod Lights coming in, and then we got the Central States Dwarf Cars as well, all national points races for those 5 divisions. So I'm excited to be working with Mark over at Grayson County. I love the little car stuff. A lot of people I used to hear them years ago that it's a good time to go get a hot dog, go to the concession stand. I tell you, if you ever watch those cars race and really pay attention, that's going to be some of the best racing in the country. And it's fun watching the future of it. But I'll scroll through the rest of this right quick. When we come back and talk about what you want, we got the Southern Thaw coming up for USRA stock cars. That's going to be March 14th through the 23rd. That'll start at Rocket Raceway Park in Petty. We'll go to Hunt County Speedway over in Greenville, and then we'll end up at Arrowhead Speedway in Concord, Oklahoma for twin 5,000s. We've got a over $80,000 purse and a pretty nice point fund put together for that. One I'm really, really looking forward to, April 4th, 5th, and 6th, the inaugural 99 Nationals up the Tri-State Speedway. We sold out 99 B-Mod spots in less than 48 hours, and that's going to be a banger. We've got some stuff working on that. Scotty Allen and I are doing that one together. Excited about that one. And then September 5th, 6th, and 7th. I can't give you the venue yet. There's a couple little loose ends to tie, but that Mid-American Grassroots Nationals, you're gonna want to star that one. That's going to be a good weekend for us. It's not going to be in Texas or Oklahoma, I can tell you that. It's going to be a little further north, but that's going to be a good one, and that's where we're going to kind of debut more of our grassroots format on some things we're doing going forward. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we got on the books now. To answer your question, Bobby, we're working on some indoor kart events. We're working on some winter events, and we're just trying to locate venues and kind of chasing those. But we do have one kart event. Looks like about 90% locked down. We're just kind of looking at all the karting schedules. We want to be a good neighbor and fit in where we can fit in and not fit in on top of somebody. So I want to have enough stuff that we're stay busy. We're also, this is not motorsports related, but one reason we're looking at the venues, we're going to do some travel and trade show type things, some boutique type shows that won't be motorsports related, but go chase a different audience and try to get some of that audience maybe into some of our motorsports stuff, do a little cross branding there. So just trying to stay busy and keep milk bought for the house. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just part of the process.
There you go, Kevin. And what's so impressive about that, I mean, and I'll pull that back up here in just a minute, but like, I mean, the seminars that you're talking about and the other stuff right there, I think, I mean, a lot of that right there, a chassis seminar. I mean, that's something right there. I mean, obviously the races is, that's one thing. I mean, obviously you're providing the service right there for the racers, for the fans, whatever. But when it comes to something like that, like a chassis seminar, I mean, that's a lot of, that's very outside the box, and that's very knowledgeable, and that's information that's going to help teams. It's going to help them save money. It's going to help them perform better. It's that kind of shit, Kevin, that I think folks, the stuff you do is just really amazing. You know, how you've pulled all this together.
Well, one thing we do is I use Scotty Allen with Allen Enterprise or Allen Auto Sports. He builds a lot of race cars. He's kind of my lead instructor. Mm-hmm. Ryan Taylor, Race Shock Service, has been crucial, but we bring Rex Merritt in from AFCO Racing. And between Rex, Scotty, and Ryan, there's probably 100 years in the business. And so it's good for a lot of these teams. You know, some of these teams probably don't need some of this as much as others, but even the experienced teams that we've had in there, they always say, man, we didn't necessarily learn a whole lot, but we refreshed on some stuff we kind of got lethargic or lazy with. So that's kind of good. But what I use it for me, where I get the benefit is after we take breaks, I'll just ask them, hey, what kind of formats you like? What's a good win money? What's a good start money? What do you like to do? How far do you like to travel? Is cool trophies better than big checks? Or do you like the boat? Do you like 3-day races? Do you like each day? I'm collecting more data from them than they probably do from me. And then I'm feverishly over taking notes when they're talking about bump stops and steers and all this stuff I don't even probably really understand, but I'm using them to collect information. And then while they're sitting there doing all that, I'm starting to think, like, how can we 80% of the class raise their hand when they like separate shows, 3 days, but they're all separate races or better start money. And so we're kind of looking at some of that. And, you know, I've always said when you're putting on races, you're kind of like the mayor, and these races and your fans are your constituents. So my rule of thumb is I'll talk to any of them, even when they're mad, but when they start cussing, our conversation's over. And I tell them that from the beginning, and knock on wood, most times you can have a good conversation. And believe it or not, a lot of times the racers, they just want to vent for a minute. They know there's nothing that can change about it, but they just want to be heard. And I think they deserve that. They work hard all week, spend money all week, sacrificing the family to come support you. So that's the least we can do. But Yeah, I just enjoy the business. Like we've got some other ventures we're doing, and we kind of scaled back on some of them. We kind of decided that 2024 and 2025 is going to be kind of make or break KR Promotions in the motorsports world. Like we are going to get aggressive. We're about to announce some major national partnerships with some national companies that aren't motorsports related. We finally have, I think after 10 or 15 years of digging, we finally starting to get the right people. And I can take the Race on Texas numbers, and we got workshops, we got little cars, big cars, we have bundled everything. We've kind of taken the old State Farm Patrick Mahomes McBundle program. We're going to give you everything we got for one money, and then we can invoice them out quarterly, just like a standard business. And so I think there's just volume and power in the numbers. You know, when you start adding it all together, like I was looking at some numbers we've done in the last couple of years, and when you start looking at all the numbers and the TV numbers and the social media, I mean, we've done stuff that's reaching 10, 12 million people a year, and that's an astounding number. But it took a while to put those numbers together. But you start putting those numbers in front of corporate America, they're like, yeah, give me a call tomorrow. We want to talk to you, because obviously you've got maybe a customer base we don't. And so I always say it. I like the word partnership. I always think of a sponsorship as I'm going to send $20 a month to the animal shelter so we can feed a puppy till it gets adopted. But when we partner, we're going to change dollars and we're going to change services, and everybody wins. And so I just think it's kind of a paradigm shift in the way you think about things. And we've kind of refocused and recharged a little bit. And to say I'm excited about 2024 is probably an understatement. And I'm pumped for this weekend because we're actually getting some sun and some dry weather the rest of the week. It's going to be a little cool Saturday, but we're going to probably adjust some start times to kind of accommodate. But we're expecting 140, 150 small cars in these 5 divisions. I made a post earlier. I got 9 confirmed states as far as California west, as far north as Wyoming, but we got some that haven't officially entered yet. But I think we'll be at about 15, 16 states coming to Grayson County Speedway this weekend. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool for the fans to see somebody different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing like getting a driver interview from somebody in the Northland, because they don't talk like we do. So it kind of, so.
Well, I think, Kevin, a couple of times I got the joy of being a race director or a series director. I took the same route that you did, the way that I did all you want to, but don't make it personal. Don't call me directly, right? You know, don't make it personal. You can complain, you can moan, you can tell how bad the call was, you can do all that, but don't make it personal. And I think that's what I think when you put that up there in the beginning, it makes it better for the racer. Stuff like that. The way that the grassroots stuff is so cool, because it's like those are the guys that are left out. Joe Jr. said it all the time, is that the best race car driver is some street stock driver in the middle of nowhere, right? So I think the ability is that, you know, and you know it from the promotion side, and we know it from the announcing side, we can villains based upon one action on a racetrack. And that's part of the fun of it, is to make those guys the local stars that they are. But at the same time, you got to have the racers buy into that mentality too. What kind of pushback do you get on that? I mean, is it something that they're all on board with? Because you see the guys that tour cars and stuff, when they say their name, they wave to the crowd. They know what to do. They know to pass out the checkered flags. You know, it seems like the younger guys and the local guys just don't have that knack yet. How do you get around that little bit of speed bump there?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do at the 99 Nationals. We're kind of going to force their hand. We haven't released this to the drivers yet, but we're going to do, if you bring hero cards to the racetrack, and if you bring them to the drivers meeting each night, we're going to give away a $100 bill. We're just going to randomly pull a hero card. Saturday, we'll have 3 features lined up from the time we get to Saturday. The front row of all 3 features, there'll be 9 drivers. They don't have an option. They will go to the fan zone and sign hero cards and visit with the kiddos. If they choose not to, they'll fall tailback in their respective race. Like we are there to entertain the people. We're in the entertainment business. We're the show business. You know, if I could ever get Rodney to let me shoot him out of a cannon at one of these racetracks or something, I think there's some mileage in this stuff. But we are in there business. People. I don't like wrecked race cars. That gets expensive, but I want to entertain stuff. I always go back to the old cowboy up thing. I dress up like a clown, look foolish, whatever. But you know what? There's 400 or 500 kids that love it. They like to take pictures. We can entertain during cautions. We can entertain during farming sessions. And at the end of the day, these people are working hard, and they're choosing you to spend their entertainment disposable income with. You need to do the best job you can to entertain them. And we got a long ways to go, but we've got a pretty aggressive schedule. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to this weekend. Terry Maddox and his crew kind of race direct the show. That's part of their package, so it frees me up to do more things. We got heat race winter interviews lined up for the infield. We'll be taking pictures with the winter boards. B-Main winter inter boards. Our feature winner is going to get a cool trophy from Owen Pittman, 317 Awards. Probably if you're not using him for trophies, man, you're missing out. Stacy Kohler's doing top 3 metal plaques. So we got 6 really good partners on this race. Each feature winner is going to put their hat on, take a picture with it with their board, slide it over, change it, a little NASCAR stuff. We're going to try to do this one right because I'm freed up a little more because Mark and his crew is going to handle more of the venue. So it's kind of a cool partnership with everybody involved. It gives you a chance to be, I don't want to say I'm a showman, but it gives you a chance to put on a better entertaining show for the crowd because I know personally when I raced, I was never a threat to win a feature, but I was good enough to win a couple of heat races, and I would have given anything if they'd have stuck a camera in my face after winning a heat race because that's the only airtime I was going to get, per se. Yeah. So we're going to try to ramp some things up a little bit. We got Dirt 2 Media. They cover the Now 600. They got a great working relationship. Race on Texas. It'll be co-streamed. Race on Texas is sending a guy to get a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage for me so we can do some promotional stuff with it down the road. And you know, we live in a content creator world, if you will. Yep. So you get Chris David tells me all the time, he said, we're on the unlimited cloud. You send me anything you can get me. We may never use it, but we have it if we need it. Yep. And he did that 5 years ago, and I kind of bought into that theory. So I like video marketing. I like doing some things like that. It's kind of cool for me. My dad turned 70 on Thursday. He's coming to the race. He's going to be there. So it's always cool when Mo Man gets to come to the races. It's even better that he's 70 years old and still wants to come out and drive a tractor if I need to or whatever. So for me, it's personally, I get to enjoy the event. Business-wise, it's always a good opportunity to help put some money in the bank, hopefully on a good show that lets you young drivers, leave with a little bit of money. And I don't know. I'm never really convinced that money is what gets guys racing. So we're going to have some cool hardware, and we're going to make an event out of it because I want them. I always look at when I put an event together, if there's 5 options, I don't want the other 4 to be an option. Yeah. And that's the kind of effort we want to put into them. And like I say, it's because we got a great team of people around us. We got people doing our marketing stuff. It's phenomenal what you can do when you get some good people in your corner. And so I could talk to you to 10 o'clock about this stuff tomorrow morning if you want to. But I love this sport. Is there bad parts of it? Sure. But there's bad parts of going to Walmart. So it's just the life we live. But I think you make of it what you want to make of it. I don't get too wound up, too high strung. I learned a long time ago yelling and stuff doesn't really do nothing but get your blood pressure up. It doesn't solve anything. So I just take it, roll with it, and it is what it is. And I think transparency and honesty is the best thing you can do in this business. And if you can do all those things, I think you have a pretty good product at the end of the day.
Totally agree. And I like what you said right there. I mean, and it is twofold. I mean, because like you said, we're in the entertainment business. I tell drivers all the time, you're in the entertainment business, and they need to realize that. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, the drivers as well, that they need to embrace. I mean, I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with this, where it's like, oh, I'm old school, whatever. We're all old school, but you have to embrace the fact that you're entertaining people. People are paying you to come. People are paying to come see you. And that's what I always tell drivers. It's like, you got to embrace that part. Kevin, I do want to ask you, one of the events, obviously what a great schedule you have there. I'll pull it up here in just a minute. But man, that Southern Thaw, that one there for the USRA stock cars, man, that son of a bitch right there looks like that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Break that one down, man. 3 venues, 3 different events right there. What do we have? Rocket, Hunt County, and Arrowhead. That's going to be pretty massive right there for stock cars.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Kevin's there, Donnie, Chip, Josh Landers, Bryce Hall, all 4 of those guys at their respected venues, and they've asked me to kind of just help oversee some things with them, and I appreciate that opportunity they've all given me. But we've got stock cars entering from Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico. They're coming from all over. It's a pretty good opportunity. Stock car racing to me is fundamentally the coolest part of motorsports. I think it's kind of traditionally where we started at, and it's cool to see stock car racing so big. And I've always said one thing I love about whether it's USRA or IMC stock car racing, it's hard to pick a winner in that division because it's so competitive. It's very similar to our factory stocks down here and stuff. But if I know Kevin at Rocket, he's going to put on a well of a show. Them boys at Hunt County, they've been putting in the work. They're going to put on a well of a show. And then if you hadn't been to Arrowhead Speedway up there yet, Brass Hall and them's venue, it's remarkable. It's a great venue to see. But you're going to have a lot of racing. Got a few practice nights. Wednesday will be an off night, so they can travel from Hunt County, kind of travel Wednesday up to Arrowhead, and then practice Thursday, and then Bryce will conclude the show, the tour, with twin 5,000 to wins on Friday and Saturday night at Arrowhead. So it's going to be a good one. Points fun. There's all kinds of neat stuff involved in this. We kind of put it together kind of late. I'm excited to get this one under our belt so we can spend a calendar year getting a year or two much more detailed in depth, and hopefully we can give a whole lot more back to our partners and our drivers and our racers.
Absolutely.
So KR, I think you nailed it, man. I think that the what's the old saying that we have racers, they race guys that they don't like in front of people they don't know with money they don't have, right? So that's that becomes a way where they buy in. And it seems like all the guys, your track record has shown that the guys buy into the program, whether they like riding a mechanical bull or not. They got on that mechanical bull and tried to win that pole position because they're competitive as hell. So I think that's the biggest thing, is having the racers buy into the program, and you're into the program. That's pretty cool, and we wish you the best of luck, dude.
Well, I appreciate it. Whenever I travel and go do different events or whatever, the number one question I get is like, how did y'all come up with a mechanical bull? And I said, well, that wasn't my first choice. My first choice was a real bull, but the insurance man said absolutely not. And I thought I was going to buck Kevin Sestero off first and see how he did on that thing. But, it's just different. It's different. And whether they like it or don't like it, the fans all run to the fence. The pits clear out and come to the infield. They want to see this guy. They're either cheering for him to get on the pole, they're cheering for him to bust his butt. You know what I mean? So it's like I always said, I'm a big pro wrestling guy. I grew up watching Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes. You had a good bad guy. And we need some more of that. We don't need stupidity, I don't guess is maybe not the right word, but we don't need nonsense in racing. But it's kind of good. I remember growing up, and there was a guy I loved to cheer for and a guy I loved to boo for. But you know what? Both of them sold a ticket for the promoter. So I kind of miss some of them days. And I like seeing the young guys in the late model deal. Ricky Thornton Jr., Bobby Pierce, a prime example. Half the crowd come to buy his merchandise. Half the crowd come to throw beer cans at him. But the whole crowd came to see him. And we need more guys like that in the sport, in my opinion. But I've been trying to get Owen Pittman, me and him, maybe to get in the boxing ring one night on the front straightaway, but he's lost all that weight now. I'm afraid to go 2 or 3 rounds, and I'm probably going to go 2 or 3 minutes. But I tell you what, man, I'll kind of end it with this. I think there's a lot of phenomenal talent down in this region of the world. There's a lot of great partners helping us. There's some really great race fans around here, but there's a lot of great promoters around here. And I see that a lot. And I see racers say it, and it bothers me because they don't know what it takes to put on a deal. I get there's some places maybe you want to say it's just a track operator, but you got to be pretty talented to be a plumber, an electrician, a diesel mechanic, a CPA, a marketing person, a CEO of a company. Like, the skill set to run a racetrack and operate it, you have to have a lot of skills in it, and it's not to take anything away from any other profession or the racers, because that's a hard deal too, and I get it. But the main thing is it's pretty in depth. I mean, I would clean the bathrooms in the morning, I'd clean up and help get the concession stand ready, and the whole time you filled in phone calls, what's the weather going to do, and then you look up and the scales aren't working, the water truck just broke a transmission, and you got to go dig one out of the weeds, or like there's so many things you got to do. And then next thing you know, the race night's over and you didn't catch a lap because you're putting out fires, making sure people were paid, making sure staff was getting fed. And there's a lot of moving pieces there. And so I pray for the day, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but racers and promoters aren't doing this, and we're joining, because we're not enemies. Tracks aren't enemies with other tracks. Racers shouldn't be enemies with the promoters. We're not in them. I care less who wins any race I ever put on. I don't get to see most of them. I care less who wins. I just hope somebody wins is going to give me a good interview in victory lane. You know what I mean? And so I just wish that we could all get on the same page. Like, we're in this together. You don't have to like me, and I don't have to like you, but we can support each other to keep the wheels greased, to keep this thing trucking on down the train tracks, right? So, and I think what you guys are doing on Monday nights and all the stuff you're doing during the week and the promotional stuff and getting in the announcer's booth and talking racing and talking some other event, all that stuff's phenomenal. Chris David sent me some preview stuff. They're working on Race on Texas, some new technology today, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We're going to be able to be watching a live stream and see about some stuff coming up down the road somewhere else. And like, that's the stuff we need to be doing. We need to really jump on board and get this thing together. And I'm pretty excited where it's at. I think 2024 is going to be a tough year, but I think if we'll band together, we'll do it like every racer in the country. They figure out a way to make it work. And I think if we work together, we'll all figure that out.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. That is well said right there. And I'm clipping that right there. Probably going to put that right at the top of this page, because that in a nutshell is why we do this shit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. KR, I got to ask you before we let you go, man, that Mid-America Grassroots Nationals, dude, that looks pretty spicy, brother. that looks like it's going to be a hell of a big deal, man.
Well, it's going to be conveniently located, and I'm hoping first part of next week we can release the venue, because the region we're putting it in, there's pretty much nothing going on that weekend. And so we kind of opened it up. We got 8 or 10 tracks that'll be idle that weekend. So the timing was right. I looked at your schedule, Rodney. It looks like you may be available, and that's
look at that.
I've some dates that I need you at, and you just had to call in Sleepy or somewhere to one of your other tracks and let them know. But the thing we are trying to do, we're trying to get these events where we got 2 in the booth and 1 in the infield. I want to entertain these people. I want these guys to hear different voices where it doesn't get monotone, where they get different perspectives. But the Mid-American Grassroots Nationals, I'm looking forward to all of them. I'm looking forward to getting to release that, because I think when we release the venue we're going to, the Buzz alone, where we're going to be, is going to be good. Scotty Allen and I are putting that one together, and that's going to be a legitimate grassroots event. And when you see the class lineup, you're going to think, how are they going to make this work? But we will, because you got to make heroes and rock stars out of these guys. I want Mr. Jim that works down at your local parts house. When it comes Friday and Saturday night, he's got 500 screaming people up there on to win that qualifier, and a 12-year-old race car that ain't ever had a motor going through. He's just changed oil, because that's just where his budget's at. That's what we're going after. But we will have the tunnel and the smoke show going. We'll have the strobe lights going. We want to make these guys feel like heroes. I miss driver introductions. I loved them as a kid. You don't see them anymore, but that's something we're fixing to get back to doing. And we're gonna do that. Sacrifice some things. We're gonna drop a class. We're gonna run 3 or 4 classes only, so we have the time to do that. I think that'll pay off though going forward. You might lose a little revenue in the back gate, but maybe not cars and classes. But I think we're gonna try to stick to that 3.5 hour format. Cool driver intros, fan interactions. We're gonna build a lot of pre-race stuff. For instance, 99 National on Saturday night, we're going to open all the gates going to open at noon. We won't start racing until 6 o'clock, but the fan zone's cool. We got face painters coming, balloon artists. I'm working on a pony ride deal, trying to get a Ferris wheel up there at Tri-State, because that Tri-State's up on a hill, so that'll get it where people can see us. Have drivers down there. Victory Fuel's going to be down there sampling products. I want to build atmospheres. I've always said if you can ever get a state fair atmosphere at a dirt track, it'll be standing room only, and that's where we're chasing.
That's right. That is right, my man. All right, I'm fired up, ready to go. Dude, this is love the schedule, love what you're doing, man. I'm telling you, you are an innovator. Folks need to take notes, and you take notes. I think that's one of the most impressive things is that you watch, you listen, and you do stuff. And man, you're one of the best. And thank you for diving on here with me, man.
That's why I'm always tuned in on Monday nights. You always got great guests, and they're gonna tell some things they're doing, and I'm thinking, man, I don't know how that would work on the dirt, but I love the philosophy. It's working in the asphalt world. And I'm like, okay, here's how we can tweak it. But, man, I think if you're not learning and trying to grow, that's when you get stagnant, get run out of the business, if you want my honest opinion. So I'm trying to figure out a way. I hadn't really done any 602, 604 racing in a long time, but I'm trying to figure out a way how we get the Roger Dabbs folks on board with it. I want to put some events, because I know the guy. I saw the page. Rodney Rodriguez, your GM parts man. On my program, but we're working on some stuff for that as well, and we'll talk off camera down the road about some of that. But I like working with people that I like seeing working hard. I like people that hustle. I like people you can trust. I like people who integrity in our system. So there's a lot of good people out there, and I think when you start building together, it just it snowballs the. Yeah. And I tell you what, Ronnie, and this is a brag moment. I don't mean it, but most of our marketing partners this year, they reached out to us. Probably the hugest, probably not the best, but biggest compliment I think I've ever received in this business is they're calling us saying, hey, how do we get involved in this, or how we, and I was telling some folks, I said, I think we're on the right track. And a lot of that's just because I watched what Owen Pittman's done. I've watched what Kevin's done. I've watched what Bub and Ryan are doing at Food Hill. Like, there's so many good people doing stuff. You kind of just, I'm trying to create the perfect scenario. It will never be perfect, but if we can get close, I think good. But man, y'all have a great show. Thanks for sliding me in. I see what you did here. You put me on first so y'all could get the old hook to get off. Well played. Well played. But man, I really appreciate you guys. And as always, anywhere I'm at, you guys always got a tip waiting on you to come see.
Absolutely, dude.
All right, man.
We will see you soon. Keep me posted on that September thing, dude. Love to help you out if we can.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, man. Take care. There he goes. I'll tell you, Kevin Rogers doing it to it, man. And I'll tell you, man, that's some modern day Ricky Ware. That is Ricky Ware right there with the stuff that he's talking about, man. That's how you get people in. And I mean, affordable family fun, I think, is a really big deal that kind of flies under the radar, it seems like, these days.
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's, you got to understand the big picture, right? You've got to have everybody buy into it. You've got the racers that have to buy into it. You got the fans that need to buy into it. And then, you got to have the promoters that understand it all. That's one part. Like you mentioned, there's some really good promoters out there. But the really, really good ones are the ones that understand the big picture. And I think that's where we've seen the line drawn in the sand from a good promoter to a great promoter is the ones that totally understand all of it and find a way to put it together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Hey, he mentioned Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. How about a quick word from those folks? Actually, I'll tell you about them. Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, right there, GM Performance, the best inventory that you're going to find in the United States. It's about $16 million worth of inventory sitting in the warehouses there in Brandon, Mississippi. And the good thing about it, if there's a part that you're looking for, a build part, whatever it may be, if there's a part that Rogers Dabbs doesn't have, it's going to be pretty easy to get because the distribution center is right across the street right there, as a matter of fact. So you can get that GM part ASAP. Shipping is minimal. And if you're looking for the crates, like we were talking about the 602s and the 604s, they are sitting right there ready to rock and roll as well. And those bad boys are going to ship out at no cost to you. And just kind of a little tidbit right there that I'm at will to tell you is that the prices that you're going to pay on crates and most of your build parts and so forth, you're paying under cost. You are paying under cost. And that's mainly because what Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet and GM Performance is looking to do is to help the racer. That's what it's all about. I mean, the Rogers Dabbs folks, obviously it's a dealership, so there's a lot of different moving parts and pieces right there. But when it comes to parts, when it comes to crates, all of that is about helping the racers. Big announcement this past week that we, with Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet, very excited to be a part of the Pro Late Model Racing Alliance right there with Five Flags Speedway. You've got different tracks involved, Nashville, a bunch of different tracks right there. So really excited. It's Rogers Dabbs Chevrolet. You can go to Rogers Dabbs GM Performance on the Facebooks, and we can get you a quote. Or if you're looking for something, message me, and I'll get you a quote just as soon as possible. And also, speaking of that, a lot of great folks that work with us here, obviously, on the Revved Up Sports Show. Bobby and I both sporting the gear. Both sporting the really cool gear. That's from right here in Texas. How about a word from our friends at On Demand Shirts?
Hey racers, Phil Whipple here with the Revved Up Sports Show. For the past year, you've heard us talking about our partners over at Generation Race Cars. I'm proud to say they're back again this year, and they're off to a great start. Generation Race Cars, located in Springtown, Texas, continues to offer new chassis body combos all the way to turnkey sport mods and limited modifieds. All cars are built the same as you've seen in Victory Lane with drivers like Alex Hickam, Jeff Shepard, and Dean Abbey. All customers are valued and treated equally, so why not join the winning team? Justin Long is committed to giving each and every customer the time they deserve, along with a commitment to bring quality into every build. If you're ready to join the team, give the guys over at Generation Race Cars a call today at 817-528-2947. You put a lot into your racing program, so why not take it to Victory Lane with Team GRC?
Diving back in, Bobby Chaffee, Rodney Rodriguez. This is the Revved Up Sports Show. Big thanks right there to our man Kevin Rogers checking in, and Shane Pretty checking in once again, and says something very, very, spot on right here. Great mind for promotion, and it really is to where he does. He thinks outside the box, and he's very, he's got the fan in mind, and I think that's really. And it's something for the drivers as well, where like we were talking about, and we talk about it all the time, Bobby. It's like drivers need to embrace that. I mean, they need to appreciate that things are not always going to go in your favor, but it's not one of those things to where you have to get over here and beat up the promoter, because it's guys like KR do it the right way.
No, I mean, and I think that the one thing that we've been trying to come through the years and years of this show is that, it doesn't matter what surface, it doesn't matter the type of class, it doesn't matter anything. Some days you are the toilet, some days you are the statue. And while we're talking about having the entertainment business, racing is part of a unique scenario that at some point you are probably going to get shit on.
Yep.
And you're not going to like it when you get shit on, but it's usually not it's usually not the fault of the promoter. Usually not at your own fault, but at the same point, you have to be prepared for it. And somewhat, as bad as it sounds, learn to live with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's the nature of the beast, and things are going to go against you, but then again, other times, things are going to go for you, and you got to take the good with the bad, because they both happen. And I think that's where people just need to realize, and we know this. I mean, we know this. I don't know why we have to have this discussion time after time.
No, I mean, I think it's just a unique deal where, racers, it's that helmet mentality, man. The helmets are on tight for a reason, for protection of the noggins.
Yeah.
But damn, it cuts off a lot of circulation in that brain. That's why they do stupid shit in race cars sometimes. That's why they do dumb shit when they get out.
Yeah, it do. Yeah, it do, man. That's what happens. All right, to the Revved Up Hotline. Let's go. World Series of stock car racing happening at Nice Smyrna Speedway. They're racing right now. Two top modifieds are on right now. I got to tell you, man, I was super excited the other night watching the Sportsman. Had one of my favorite drivers out there, and to Victory Lane in fine fashion. I was screaming at the TV. I was excited. I was raising hell. My dog was like, what in the hell's going on over here? My wife thought I was bitching somebody out on the telephone. No, I wasn't. I was excited. On the hotline, our friend Cody Brusso. Brusso, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
Man, I bet you're doing good, man. But yeah, a lot of people fired up the other night. That was pretty damn exciting.
Yeah, I think I have them fired up in a couple different ways, but that's a whole different deal.
No doubt.
So, Cody, talk about that race, man. Obviously, start not picture perfect by no means, but you're able to come. You had that bottom line hooked up, went from the back to the front, and actually, realistically, made it look real easy. I know it wasn't easy from inside there, but man, talk about that race.
Man, we struggled a lot on Friday that first night, and we ended up that they preferred up there because you get that run off the top. And we took the green and we got rolling, and everybody's just a tick tight there at the start, but our top line we cleared, and we were clearing the guy that was on the pole. I was, and the 12 car got into the back of us pretty dang hard and then didn't get off of us. It pushed me all the way down the straightaway. So when he finally got off of us, the bumper was like hanging halfway off and the yellow came out, and the I'm trying to be polite about this.
I'm just waiting. I'm like,
yeah, I know. So anyway, so the race director put us to the rear, even though they told us we had to pit. So not sure how I got put in the rear since it was on the initial start. I didn't cause it, right? I got ran into and I kept going. I didn't spin out or anything. They made us come down pit road. They put us to the rear. But I try not to say everybody's after me, and whether they are or they're not, I don't really care. But it put on a show for the fans. I mean, it made the race a lot better. I had to come from the rear. We went to the back, and we started picking them off one by one. By lap, it was a 50 lap race. So by lap 35, we were sitting P2. The leader was 6 seconds out, and we were chasing him down. So if it would have went green, I could have closed that gap. I had Jimmy Kitchens spotting for me. Super good spotter, and he kept me calm. Usually I have a tendency to short out in those kind of situations and get a little rough around the edges, and he kept me calm, and we came on up through there and started running the leader down, and luckily we got a caution. The kid gave me the outside for whatever reason, and we took off, and I got up in behind him pretty early, like right off of 2, and then he started chopping my nose, chop my nose, chop my nose, every corner, chopping my nose, and I'm like, all right. So I popped his ass one time, and but I got back off of him. I let him gather it up, and I mean, the kid was like driving the left front down through the grass up off of Alpha 4. It was bizarre. It didn't really make any sense, and the whole chopping the nose thing. There's so many strikes right there, and I had about all I could take. He did the same thing on Friday, and anyways, we had another restart, long story short, and I cleared his ass on the outside, drove right around him. So he was no more of a problem for me, and we took off, gapped him, and ended up winning that thing, and that was awesome. I needed that. I was pretty frustrated on Friday, but it definitely was worked for, and I had to work my tail off to get up through there, but the car came to me and it handled great, and I just can't thank my guys and everybody that helps me out enough.
Oh man, I got to tell you, as this whole thing is going on, I mean, when the race starts, and then that happens, I'm like, God bless. What a start to that shit. When that happened to you there with Derek. But I mean, the way that you worked through the field, I mean, was that one of those things, Cody, to where that happened with the car? And I mean, I've driven race cars to where something happens like that, and the fucking car gets better. I mean, it seemed like your car just, I mean, it was running on a rail as you came back through the field.
Right. No, it definitely didn't get any better. It was really good. Just right when we fired off, I mean, I knew that as soon as I rolled off into one and I didn't lift like through the whole corner pretty much, and that whole front line was riding, I knew that the car was going to be really good. It's going to take a minute for the right front to come in, and we were carrying a lot more roll speed than we probably should have through the corner, and I had to like crack probably a quarter throttle out, and that's when he got up into us. But like I said, he kind of stayed with me. I don't know if it was or wasn't. I've never seen DG12, race anybody like that, and I've seen him race a lot. So I don't really think it was intentional. I think that he was probably thinking the same thing I was, that track position and clean air was everything. So we had to get going and get gone, and I think it was just maybe a mistake. I don't really know. I haven't heard from him, so I maybe it was intentional. Hell, I don't know. But the car was awesome, and the roll speed through the center, both corners it was just wicked. So I was just killing them through the corners and everything, and coming up through the field there, like I said, I don't like to really run over anybody. I kind of refuse to unless I actually absolutely have to. And I got a few texts and compliments from a couple of the other guys, the older guys that were racing with us, and that have been around the sport for a long time, and saying how much they appreciated me running them clean and not running through them. That really wasn't something that they were used to seeing at New Smyrna during the local stuff. And, that meant a lot to me because I was raised to race clean. And if you get somebody kind of, squirrely, you got to give them a second to get their feet back under them and get rolling and do it the right way. And I think the announcers even made a comment about that. And so that was super cool. And I think I gained a lot of respect doing it, and gained a lot of respect from the fans as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cody, is there a different mentality racing the World Series because you have so many different races back to back or within a couple of days? I mean, do you take it race by race, or do you, when you're trying to make a pass, you're like, I don't want to mess this car up because I got to race again in a couple of days or the next night? I mean, talk about the mentality. Is it different when you're down there at the World Series for a couple of days or 10 days, depending on how long you stay?
So for me, I grew up I'm from Pensacola, so the snowball derby thing, the first couple derbies that I raced, it's like really intense and it's really nerve wracking. And if you get in a race car and you're not nervous, like you're pretty much over it, so you don't need to be doing it anyways because you're not, committed to it. For the sportsmen's down there, we only got to race 2 races during this 10-day stretch, and there, I don't know, it was more of a relaxed feel. Like, obviously, you're gonna have a little bit of nerves here and there. I don't wanna tear up my car ever because I don't wanna have to fix it. So
Yeah.
I try to do it as clean as possible, and, you have to keep all your emotions in check and not do anything crazy. But that's pretty much every race. I mean, whether it's local or something like this, you gotta put that out of your mind. It's just a race, and you gotta go in there and do it clean and get out front and give the feedback to the guys so they can get the car going how you need it to go, and just do your thing, and that's what we try to do every race.
Mhm. KB, your program has gotten. Obviously last year, with the modified championship and everything, your momentum is just tremendous. What you've been doing, girl. It kind of talk about that part, whether it's a sportsman or the modified or whatever it is, man. It's really on fire for you right now. I can honestly say I watch shit all across the country, and you're like one of the hottest drivers across the country. I mean, kind of talk about that. You're on a massive roll right now.
Well, I'm really not. So that's what's funny. We were talking about that, me and my buddy. I actually had to go pick up one of my cars that we were racing at the Rattler. And I was talking to him on the way home, and I was like, we go out here and we're winning all these races, and like people either like me or they don't. I mean, you get what you see, and that's kind of how I am. But we were talking about it. This Isabella girl that's running Donnie Wilson's car, she's ripping. She's finishing third every night. She should have won last night. Like, she's doing really good. She can wheel. But everybody's out here talking about Tony Breidinger. She's she's running not even in the top 10 in a $150,000 race car every night. But that's who they want to talk about. And it's crazy to me because I'll be really surprised if Isabella doesn't win tonight, if they're racing tonight. I haven't looked at their schedule, but like, she's going to get a win. Katie Hedinger's up there with her. I mean, right behind her. And then they want to talk about, whatever. So as far as my momentum goes, I've been really fortunate, and I've learned to surround myself with honest people and people that want to see me win just as bad as I want to win. And I really, really don't like to lose. So I'll do whatever I can to keep that momentum going. And that's what we're looking forward to going into the Rattler. But it's really all about the people that are behind me, my family, my mom, my dad, my uncle, Brooke, just everybody, all my sponsors and stuff. And it's about the people that are around me that are keeping me going and keeping me motivated, like with Holly and even with Jimmy Kitchens, this past weekend. That's a really big thing. And sometimes I get down on myself, and um I'll be like, God, I don't know, like, my confidence will kind of go away, and then
Yeah.
they'll talk me back out of that hole. And I've been really fortunate to have this group of people around me. That's really the success that I'm having right now is from those people, and people supporting me and keeping me going in the right direction and keeping my mind on the right track. And that's a really big thing. And we're looking forward to 2024.
That's right.
So in terms of the Rattler, what all are you doing now to prepare for it? Is it too early to prepare, or is that a bad way to look at racing? It's never too early to prepare. I mean, what are you getting ready for when you start getting geared up for the Rattler coming up here? I guess 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks out, maybe.
Yeah, I think we're almost a month out, so probably about 4 weeks. Well, with that thing, we've been preparing, since the last time we left there. But with the World Series coming up, we had to kind of get that rolling, and we were planning on bringing the little car, the SRL car, back, and the bumper got knocked off, so it's got to stay down there and get gone through, and make sure everything's back square on it. And I have to go down there and get it back up here. And there's a lot of logistic stuff that has to go on, and moving trailers and getting everything up here because the little car stays down south with Chuck Burkhalter, his place. So I got to move a bunch of stuff around. I went and picked up my super stock car today, got it back home, and the modified lives in Mississippi with Jimmy Hammond. So we're really just trying to get all that situated and figure out what we need and figure out parking spots and where everybody's staying and all that good stuff, and just build on what we did there last year in the few test sessions that we've had after. We've just been trying to build on that so we can go get us some snakeheads.
Man, plan to spend some time with you guys at the Rattler. That's going to be a lot of fun right there, Cody. I do want to ask you kind of about Brooke. I was excited, for Brooke to be at the World Series. Man, not the start that she wanted, and I mean it was right there at the beginning. I mean, there it is. Man, she's been having a rough go, but just glad to see her back in the race car again and getting those feet back into the seat and doing what she loves.
Yeah, absolutely. And in that car, we've kind of struggled with it, and we're still working the bugs out of it. The thing will be ready for the Rattler and ready to go. She blames that wreck on me, but I had to check up. I had to do what we had to do. It's lap one. Nobody's going to win on lap one. So I was being cautious and trying to, we have 50 laps, and 50 laps in one of these things is a long time. And I was doing what I needed to do and staying on my toes. And she turned off the wall a little bit, and I don't know if you heard the interview on Flow Sports, but pretty much what I said when I got out of the car is you can tell who only stays at New Smyrna and who gets to travel. And that was probably a little rough, but it makes sense because she came off the wall right when stuff started getting a little weird in front of her. And some dude came up from like the bottom lane at like mock Jesus and door slammed her. So it turned her around and it ended up tearing up the transmission and the thing. And that's something we'll get fixed and bring her up to op and get her situated up here and get that thing ready to go. But she'll have a really good showing there. I think she'll like the racetrack. She's never been there, but she's gonna be fine. And the car was really, really good at New Smyrna and was really, coming to life there. Qualified didn't really show it, but the car would have raced really well. So I hate that happened. It's just I don't even know how to put it. Like I said, like kind of going back to the nerves thing. If you're not used to running something in front of a lot of people and all, a lot of these guys get really, really nervous and worked up, which that's not what you should be nervous about. You should be nervous about, hey, we just got to get here, get in line, let's get rolling, get a rhythm, get going. And Brooke is used to that kind of stuff. But when you're racing around people that aren't, that's usually what happens.
Yep.
Well, Cody, you knocked it out of the park. As you said, you had a lot of people that were rooting for you, and a lot of people were very impressed with your performance there at the World Series. So not a better way to start off 2024. We look forward to seeing good things from you here coming up this whole 2024 season. I know Rodney's cheering for you. I'm cheering for you too.
Absolutely. And, I really appreciate the support just from everybody, and the people reaching out to me in the past 2 days has been crazy. I mean, I've had people that I've looked up to for a really long time that I didn't even know they knew my name, reach out to me and tell me congrats. And that's really, really cool. And just because it's a sportsman, it's called a support class, just kind of like the outlaw class around here. I mean, it doesn't mean that it just because it's not a pro car and it's not a super doesn't mean that it was a win that was given to me. And we all still have to work just as hard as everybody else. We're just not there for 10 days. And I think that goes overlooked sometimes, but that happens at every place. And but it was awesome, and we all had fun. They had good car count, and that's all that matters. We'll see what happens from here, but we're definitely looking forward to 2024 and going back to New Smyrna. We have a pro car that we'll be taking back there and run some races at Cordial in it also. Chuck Burkhalter and Daryl Hensley offered me that ride, so we'll be going there and racing a few more races at New Smyrna, and that's going to be a really, really good thing. And we're looking to have a good showing. It's a GARC car. So we're going to try to put GARC back on the map. I know Augie's been ripping in his, so maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do the same and give him a run for his money on a race or two.
Yep. Boom. Baddest ass looking cars of them all are them sportsmen, outlaws, whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
And there she was at the top of the heap at New Smyrna, Cody Brusso. Great drive. As always, thank you for jumping on. Say hello to everybody. And I guess I will see you in about a month or so.
Absolutely. We're super excited for you to come and call that race. And before I get off of here, I do want to say, so we were just talking about this before I jumped on as well. There's a fake Facebook page. It's called Brooks Store fan page or something like that. I don't know. It's super fake.
Looking at it
It's
right
posted.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, go look. So everybody needs to get on there. We've reported it like 400 times. It won't go away, but it's some weirdo on there talking to all these people, begging for money and stuff. So that's definitely not us. We will take your money, but I can send my Cash App. However, we will not send weird, creepy pictures or anything of that sort. And everybody needs to get on there, report it. Once you report it, go on there and troll them. I've been asking the page why she hasn't paid her Wi-Fi bill and telling her that she needs to go vacuum the floors and stuff like that. So we've really been giving that page hell. So we just need some help about getting rid of it because they're really out here asking for money, and we are not out here asking for dollars. If you want to send dollars, I'll send you our Cash App.
There it is.
However, go on here and troll the hell out of this page so we can get it gone.
Yeah, I say let's have some fun with it. It's like, I mean, shit. You know, let's embarrass them.
Right.
Yeah, Brooks.
Yeah,
Brooks
do.
Store fans page. Yeah.
Yeah,
you'll see
let's
that,
get rid of that and definitely go troll it. If they give you a phone number, make sure to put it on your local bar's bathroom.
There
Call
it
for a
is.
good time. Stuff like that.
Yeah. And by the way, sorry for messaging you and apologize to your mom and butt dialing her, all these different things. So it's like, okay, I'm going to leave the Brousseau girls alone.
It's all good. It's all good. We love talking to you, and we can't thank you enough for all the support and everything. And I'm glad we got your co-host over here to at least engage with me and talk to me a little bit. He doesn't seem as scared. I've been trying to turn a new leaf and calm down a little bit, and I think I've been doing okay. So we're gonna keep working at it, and maybe he can come down to the Rattler too or something.
Hey, there you go. I tell you, we get Bobby to spend a weekend with you, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, it'll all change. Your whole outlook will change.
That's right.
The outlook will change more than likely. I guarantee that.
Good stuff. All right, Cody. Thanks for jumping on. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. There she goes, man. That was one hell of a drive the other night. And I think the whole thing about it was I was seriously concerned when that happened because I was what I wished was that I could have had, and she mentioned the spotter. And I know that that was the whole thing. I knew that Holly wasn't spotting. And so when that happened with her and Derek, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, man, I wish I could hear the radio right now to hear what she's saying. She did a hell of a job, man. That was just a fine drive.
Yeah, no, great recovery, awesome race, and I think it did. I think it's going to do a lot to put her back on the map. You know, there for a while when she was running well and winning races there in Pensacola, was on the map. You know, there, you know, when she was, you know, up on the high, she's got a chance to experience the lows a little bit, and I think that she's more prepared now to be back in that spotlight. I think where you run more races and you get a chance to not get a second chance. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But you know, when you get a chance to do stuff again for the second time and third time, you get more used to it. And I think that she's going to be better prepared for it. And I think it's going to be, if we could call it a breakout year, I think it's got an opportunity to do that for her.
Yeah, it's really been one of those things with her to watch. I mean, because it has been. I mean, just a gradual. I mean, very gradual improvement in what she's done. But here's, I think, the difference where we talk about all the time in sports. Confidence is so important, and Cody's never lacked confidence, obviously. But the thing about it right now is that I think that she knows anytime that she gets in a car, and I think last year winning the modified championship at Montgomery, you know, jumping into that car and doing that, I think that that's something that really helped catapult her, the confidence thing. I mean, because she's very, I mean, she carries herself very confident, and she knows. I mean, the other night when that went down, I mean, the way that she handled that and drove that thing back, she tore through the field, and I mean that in a flattering way, because like she said, she wasn't running people over, but it's just confidence is a very good thing when it comes to racing.
You know, confidence is something that racers need to have within reason. What is it? There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and some people can't find that line at all.
Yeah. That's Cody Brousseau right there. We talked to Kevin Rogers. Hey, we also want to thank Magic Mike Knotts. we talk to him all the time. He's probably checking in right now. A big thanks to Mike once again. More logo decals coming out. Actually got some. I received some. I think you're about to get some.
I got some yesterday. Saturday. I checked it Saturday. I forgot to tell you yesterday.
Yeah. And Mike doing that. I mean, that's Mike that's Mike doing that. I mean, that's not us asking Mike to do that. I mean, he did the initial batch of the initial logos. Those came out. I mean, there's Dirty Air ones. I mean, he's done all this stuff and puts them on his race car, makes his race car faster. I'm assuming that's why he does it. But and this is where we talk about just good people in racing. And we've talked to Mike on this show. We got to get him back on here again and go to the Mike Knotts Museum of Race Cars, by the way. I think we had to do a live show at Mike Knott's shop.
Yeah, if only I could find a way to take off on a late day this week and we could pull a twofer and go down and see James Cole and then come back up and see Mike Knotts.
Yeah, man. That and again, on-demand shirts. And I got to get back down there. James, I'm sorry. I will call you back. James and I are like, we're like lovers in another state. It's like we call each other and we can just never connect. And it's like messaging and texting. I don't mean that James and I are lovers. It's just one of those things where we can never get connected. But man, I think a show at Mike Knott's place. There's lots of different places. Computer Age Automotive with our man Gilbert Simmental. We could do a show there. Have gear, will travel. I think we need to. I think that's one of the things that I have it bookmarked. And again, when things are realistic to me, I write them in pen. And one of the things that I have in pen this year is to take Revved Up on the road and do. It's gotten so much easier now. I mean, just with the different technology sources and everything that we have. Now I have the resources to take this shit on the road. And I really do. I want to get out and about and take this thing and get in front of the people and have people get to be a part of the show. It's one thing we can do comments and all that, but man, just get in front of folks and let them enjoy this shit.
Maybe we should do that for the ASCS opener down in Corpus, since we know Chris and know Owen and them. And
I'll tell you one thing that I have in pen also is that for the ASCS opener, there's going to be some sort of pre-race show. I don't know if what Race on Texas has in store for any of that, but when I was sick over here, when I couldn't go to Corpus, I swear I had COVID. They said I had an ear infection, but I mean I did a pre-race from my old office downstairs.
Yeah.
So that's definitely in the works. So I mean, we're going to make this happen. We're going to really do 2024 in a fantastic way. And I think the partnership with Race on Texas, we've got some resources as well from Racing America. I mean, there's lots of different things that we can do here, and of course the people that make it possible. Generation Race Cars, they've been with us for so long. Rogers Knapp Chevrolet, the GM Performance folks, and of course On Demand Shirts. There's a lot of folks that I think are really going to help us blow this thing out of the water in 2024, like KR's talking about, because it really is to where you can make this thing really, really huge.
Yeah, no, I'm just sitting there watching the race weekend for you. The Rattlers the same weekend the World of Outlaws at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh. And I like this, Deborah Brousseau, a show from the Rattler, from the motorhome. Now that right there, that could get pretty good. Live guests, people walking through that we've talked about that with Steve Sims, doing it that way. And the good thing is that everything has evolved so much now to where you can do that. I mean, it was harder to do it back in those times, but it's a hell of a lot easier now. I mean, you kind of just plop this stuff down and boom, let's go. I'm taking you up on that one, Deborah.
That could be a lot of fun. I just have to see how everything shakes out. I think that's right around spring break. So I think that's the week after spring break. Because then when you get back from the Rattler, that following weekend is NASCAR at COTA.
That March. Yeah, March is going to be horrible for me. I mean, it's going to be enjoyable, but horrible. And that's where, like Colin was talking about, the different stuff right there. The calendar for me in March is going to be just out of control. It is out of control, and I'm excited because it's going to be some of my favorite venues. I mean, there's a Houston race in there. Obviously, there's the Rattler. There's South Texas Race Ranch. I mean, the NASCAR thing is in there, and it just kind of keeps going from that point. So super excited about that one. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Mike Knott's asking, any Daytona watch parties? I know of some. I know Steve Sims, and again, you guys feel free to message Steve Sims. I'm sure he'll invite you. You're going to have that one. Maybe working on doing some sort of, whether it be on this Paige or some others. Maybe Bobby haven't even asked you. I think maybe I did ask you. I just don't remember last night. Daytona 500 pre-race. I mean, one of those things. I had somebody that was saying, it'd be really cool to like all of us watch a race together. Like we sit here and watch the race as it's going on, and kind of all of us commentate and live chat as it's going on. But then you got delays and all that.
Yeah, everybody's got delays on that, so
kind of messes that shit up. I mean, that's the only bad thing about that. But yeah, Daytona coming up, man. That's I'm looking forward to it. Speed Week. When do they qualify? Is that tomorrow?
Valentine's.
When's Valentine's?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. All right.
You got the qualifying on Wednesday. You got the duels on Thursday. You got the Kevin Harvick documentary Thursday night after the duels. Then Truck, Xfinity, and the 500. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Saw this today, Bobby. I'm sure you probably saw this as well. But when we talk about social media and racing and the outside influences and all this, found this today, the top followed NASCAR drivers on Instagram. And we were just talking right there with Cody. And I remembered that when she mentioned that. Number one, Tony Breidinger, which the girl can drive. I mean, that girl, I mean, that girl, I mean, that lady right there, she's very attractive, but I mean, she's a wheel person. Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah, she can wheel it. She's got the package there that she needs. Just needs one or two good little breaks, and I think she'll be okay.
Yeah, you got Haley Deegan right there, and I think for AM Racing, I think that's a for them, for Tim and the bunch there, to be able to get Haley Deegan in the fold. I mean, it's and Haley's kind of gotten to. Remember when Haley came in? It's like, okay, she's it's a can't miss. She's going to be unbelievable. But now you're kind of starting to see the opposite. I mean, I've seen folks that want to compare Haley to Natalie, and it's like my whole thing is like, leave Natalie alone. I mean, whatever. Kind of the same thing with Haley. It's like, let's see what she does in this spot. It's a little bit of it. And Bobby, you and I have said, I think in one of these Infinity cars, as the well-versed say, in one of these Infinity cars, I think it's a better fit for her.
I still think she'd be really good in the Cup car.
I know, man.
Power to weight ratio, everything that she needs.
Yeah. There you go. Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch. No surprise right there. Larson, Logano, Blaney, Austin Dillon. It's like that may be more his wife. And John Hunter Nemechek. I was like, what? What's he doing in there?
That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Right. But yeah, so that's the top 10 most followed drivers on Instagram. I don't know who put that poll together. It wasn't me. I found that and copied it. So boom, there you go. Daytona 500 week. Looking forward to that one. And I think it'll be an exciting week. I'm just ready to get it rolling. I mean, with everything that we're watching, they're hauling ass at New Smyrna right now. But just glad to get going. Kind of when NASCAR starts, it's like, okay, here we go. It's time to get going again.
Yeah. Guess we have to bring out two shows because, just like we did before, our hardcore people don't care about NASCAR. The NASCAR people don't understand there's local short track. So,
yeah. It's like even on Texas Sports Unfiltered, I get people checking in. Hey, what about NASCAR? I'm like, we'll talk about that at some point. So again, that's where I'm like, okay, we did something right at the other place because it's like people want some of that NASCAR content. So that's in the Austin area, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. I mean, there's fans there. You just got to get to the right people when it comes to that stuff. There's a flavor for everyone. It's like pizza. Everybody likes a different topping, and NASCAR is its own topping. No doubt about it.
Yeah, especially when Cadillac takes over for Chevrolet, but that's a whole another discussion for a whole nother day. That's the only gun, that's the only bullet they got left in the gun is to switch to Cadillac.
Man, I saw that.
Because there ain't nothing else in the lineup that can fit a NASCAR.
I know. I saw that today and I'm like, oh God, here we go. It that's really gonna raise. I can tell you I'll tell you offline things that I thought when I saw Cadillac to NASCAR. I'm like, oh shit. But anyway, Daytona 500, it's going to be a good week. And of course, the Great American Race coming up on Sunday. Show's been fun, man. We've had great content with KR, again, the innovator. I mean, lots of great promoters, but I really like what Kevin is doing in the sense where he's not solely tied to one track. He's kind of spreading the wealth right there and just doing a lot of things. And I think what this will do is, like if Kevin, like with the Southern Thaw, what he's doing, this weekend, as he goes to those races, what that may do is that may help promoters in the sense where they watch each other, what they do, that maybe like he's talking about with midways and entrances and all that. Maybe that's something where the local tracks will kind of go out of the norm a little bit and do cool stuff like that.
Well, we used to do driver introductions to the crowd back at the Thunder Hill days. So
yeah, no doubt about it. I know it was really cool. Speaking of the Rattler last year, they were like, okay, we're going to do, you guys have to do intros. I'm like, what? It's like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, to get to read the sponsors, tell people where they're from, and kind of bump them up. That's a really cool thing. It's a really fun thing. And of course, Cody Brusso coming off the win there in the Sportsman. You got one on the fence right now at New Smyrna as they roll on. All right, Bobby, rest of the week, my man. What's going on? Football's done. It's time to go NASCAR racing, buddy.
Yeah, it will be going to be an entertaining week. Once we get set up here, going to watch the rest of Speed Week for 4 or 5 days, and then see what next weekend holds, and we'll just see what shakes out.
That's exactly right. All right, guys, we will do it again next Monday right here. Same time, same place, same places, I guess, because it's a lot of different places. # Real Race Talk. We are in Texas. If you are checking in and finding us for the first time, be sure and like the YouTube page. Be sure and like the Facebook page. If you're checking in on Race on Texas, be sure and like that page as well. And tell your friends about us. Tell your friends about us. We just kind of like to talk shit, right, Bobby? We just, I go back. I watch a lot of different race stuff. I watch way too much race stuff. And it's like every time I see something new pop up, I'm like, here we go. Another one. Here's another one. And it's like, I think I saw Bubba Wallace. I'm like, maybe I'll get a podcast. Like, bitch, come on, man. You too?
Everybody, the podcasts are just like kids. Everybody's got the ability to have one, or everybody's got the ability to make one, but not everybody should have one.
Some people shouldn't be doing them, but we should. We should, and we have for a long time. All right, guys, y'all have a great rest of the week. Bobby is down south. I am up north. This is from Texas, as I mentioned. # Real Race Talk. Follow the page. Follow our socials. All of that good stuff is right there. The Revved Up Sports Show. We're back next Monday right here. You guys have a great week. Enjoy Daytona. Enjoy your short track racing.